Good game. We came up short. You know, we played well enough to stay in the game. We didn't win the margins. Win the margins to win the game, and they were different in the day than what they usually were. Cal, give them credit. They really, they shot the ball well from three. We didn't do a great job in the first half. I thought of closing out, especially on Camden. He only took 5 shots, but he made some big threes in the runs that they had, and so that to me hurt us. Same thing. I thought Bell hit a couple big shots in the runs that they had, but rarely would I say a guy scores 29 points, but I felt like it didn't impact the game. I thought, we did a good job. I know it doesn't look like it, 9-13, but he had, Ames had 5 turnovers. I thought we did some good things on him. And I didn't. Again, there's, we all know there's some points that, that impact the game totally, and then sometimes they're not. And it's not to take nothing away from him because he's a really good player, but I just didn't think that 29 impacted why we lost the game.
You were in the bonus from, I think it was 13-31 on in the second half, and they shot a lot of free throws even before you guys were fouling late. Just how much did that impact the game? The kind of flurry of fouls during the start of your comeback that kind of got you guys into that situation?
Well, we talked about guarding them without fouling. They have a really good free throw shooting team. I thought our guards, aside from Dobby, our guards didn't do a great job of, we can talk about Ames, but the ones that started and ignited it was Camden putting the ball on the ground. We couldn't stay in front of him, and so I thought that, Cal did a good job of when we were making our runs and when we were making buckets, the biggest thing they did was put fouls on us, and now they're living at the free throw line. And, we just didn't do a good job. We getting hung up on screens, different things, and we just getting unnecessary fouls. And, that hurt us, 39-14. That's a big discrepancy. But at the same time, too, we got to do a little better job in that area of guarding without fouling.
Damon, you know what they've been through in the last 8 or 9 years, I'm guessing. They've got 17 wins now. Are they looking like they're a possible NCAA tournament team to you?
They're right there in the mix for sure. Cal is, me being a West Coast guy, I played against Cal. Obviously, it was the heyday. I would call it the heyday. He had really good players and, things of that nature. And, Mark has done a great job. He's put them in position, and, they'll have some opportunities to keep winning and improve their resume, but, they'll be right there in the mix.
Coach, can you talk about that? Your message for that turnaround there at the beginning of the second half? You mentioned Camden in the first half, hit some big shots. He had very few touches in the second half. Were you focusing on him on defense there as part of the comeback?
Well, I wouldn't say we were necessarily focusing on him, but you got to have an awareness of a guy like him. I thought he was critical. And watching Cal, I thought he was critical to their team. He keeps the court space. He allows Ames and Pippen, to play free and in space. And I thought the second half we really came out and we just played harder. We played harder. We shared the ball. We did different things. And, to go from, scoring 29 points in the first half to 56 in the second half, and to start turning them. Cal's not a turnover team. We turned them. We did a lot of good things. But, the guys came out, and I thought we just played harder in that second half.
Coach, 48 points in the paint today. Was that a point of emphasis knowing that Cal didn't have Lee Dort in the paint, or was it more of just how the game unfolded?
Well, I thought we should have had more, actually. I thought we missed a lot of shots at the rim. We're not as crazy as it sounds. We're a bad 2-point shooting team. You know, we got to be better in that area. But, you know, the 48 points that we did get, you know, in the paint is obviously a big number, you know, but I don't think it had anything to do with who was there or who wasn't. You know, we do got, you know, By, and he was really good for us today. And although he didn't take a lot of shots, he created a lot of offense for us. And so guys were cutting and doing different things.
Can you give an update on Wasey, and then also talk a little bit about Devi and what he gave you tonight? It seemed like he was a real pit bull on defense, and other than shot selection, he was pretty good for you.
Yeah, well, Wasey had been down, you know, pretty much since this morning, so he didn't even come to shoot around. And, you know, he tried to give us what he had, you know, and you know, you can just kind of see he just didn't have it and didn't want to, you know, chances we still got one more game on this trip, so I just decided to go in another direction, you know, and he went back. I think he went back to the hotel. He might have went back to the hotel, laid down, but you know, I thought Davi was really good defensively. You know, I thought he did some good things. I thought he made Ames work, and so I was happy for him to see that. You know, I mean, when you look at I'm looking at our plus minus, and you know, when you look for the game, you know, he had the highest plus minus of any player in the game, and you know, that's an indictment to him. He has been working, so you know, it was good to see him do the things he did.
One or two more if there are any.
Do you think you'll get Mo or Peyton back on this trip, or are they probably not back till Atlanta?
You know, I don't. I'm gonna say this, but it's just I don't. It's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. But like, I really can't check on injuries, and it's not that I'm frustrated with it, but it's like it just taints your thinking as a coach. I just want to coach the guys that I know are gonna be there every day, because it makes it hard with the maybes and you don't know. And so for me, I've tried to focus on coaching the guys that I have, because it just makes it easier on me. You know what I mean? So there's already a lot of things going on, and you're trying to, you know, get ready for the game, manage the game. But, you know, we'll see moving forward. I'm not really for sure though. Yep.